Hello and welcome. This is Varun, Technical Advisor Design and Prototyping and Educational Consultant for Tutormash.com. In this session, we will be discussing about annotations in AutoCAD. Hatching is one among the important tools which we use in engineering drawings. Understanding the importance, AutoCAD also has the tool to do hatching. Basically in AutoCAD, hatching is subdivided into three sections, that is pattern, solid fill and gradient. Pattern means it will align a specific design of hatch to a closed area, whereas solid fill will fill the entire area with a solid color. And the last one is gradient. Gradient will give you a color gradient hatching to the selected area. As you can see here in this example, when the drawing becomes more complex, it's very difficult to identify places or sections in the drawing. So hatch will help you to identify each sections in the drawing. Normally the hatch creation dialog box comes with the ribbon palette. You can take the additional hatch options to toggle the hatch pattern in much more detail. So now let's see these options in the software. Consider a rectangle like this. So in order to do the hatching inside this object, we will type the command H to get the command hatch and press enter to activate the hatch command. Now you can see when the hatch command is activated, the hatch creation tab is available in the ribbon palette. This hatch creation tab allows you to adjust the hatching behaviors in AutoCAD. Starting from the beginning, we have the option called pick point. Pick point means it determines you to specify a point inside an internal closed area. Like this. This is an internal closed area where if you pick inside, the hatch will be placed. The next one is select. Select means it allows you to select a boundary. That means when I go for this option, you can go and select the boundary like this. So the hatch will be placed inside that, like this. Escaping from the command and selecting the hatch and deleting it, I will do the hatch again, that is H, and press enter. Bringing back to the pick point option, we have the next section to select the pattern. As we have discussed, hatch is divided into three types, that is pattern, solid and gradient. Those three options you can find from the drop down available here, that is pattern, solid or gradient. Or else you can find these three options in this list also. When you click on this drop down available here, you can find all the patterns in the list. That is, the first one is solid, then it starts with the pattern, and in the middle you have the gradient too. So that means all these three are combined together in this list. So let me start with the pattern first. I will select any of the pattern required. Let it be this one. Now, as it is the pick point option, when I bring my cursor inside the shape, it already picks, but you can see that it's full white in color. But you don't have to worry about that. That is because your hatch scale is very less. When you go on zooming inside, you can see the pattern is visible there. So that means I have to manually increase my scale, which is available here, to get it correctly. So first let me place my hatch inside this one by clicking over it and coming over the scale and changing the value to 10 and press enter. So now you can see your hatch is much more visible now. If you go on further increasing the scale, you can see that the hatch scale also increases and making the hatch much more visible like this. Correct. When I reduce the scale, it will get much more easier to view like this. So let me take a convenient value, say 20, and press enter, which is more easy to view. The next option that we have is hatch color. This determines the hatching colors which is applied to the hatch. So when you click this one, you can select any of the color according to the need. Let's say I will select red. So that means you can see that the hatch lines have been become red in color. The next one is hatch background color. That means you can give a background color for this hatch. Now it is none, that means it is transparent. You can give any opaque color which is available here, let's say white, like this. So it becomes like this. You can also apply hatch transparency so that your hatch looks transparent in your drawing. Or else you can make it fully opaque by making it 0. The next one is angle. Angle means it helps you to rotate the hatch according to the requirement you need. When you increase the angle, you can see that the hatch pattern gets rotated according to the need. So you can adjust the angle wherever you want in your drawing. The next option that is available is set origin. We will be discussing about this option soon. Adjacent to that, we have the options called associative and annotative, which we have discussed in our previous video. Making my associative property off, I will make my associative property off and come over to the hatch settings, which I can take from the small arrow available here, like this. This will bring about the hatch and gradient setting dialog box. It is a primitive type of hatch setting dialog box which were used in our previous versions of AutoCAD. The same settings which we have done here can be done in the hatch settings dialog box too. That is type, pattern, color, swatch, etc. You can give the angle or scale according to the need. There is other options available, that is draw order. That means whether you want this hatch to come over another hatch or below another hatch according to the settings done here, like this. You can set to another layers if you want, and also you can give the transparency. You can give inherit properties to the hatching also, but we rarely use this option in AutoCAD. Coming over here, you will find some additional options available in hatch. Now, there is an option called Eyelet Detection. That means if there is any inner object available, you can use Eyelet Detection to detect the inner object. There is an additional option called Boundary Retain, that it will help you to retain the boundary such as polyline in the software. The next one is Boundary Set. You can set a boundary according to the current viewport, or you can create a new boundary set. Gap tolerance is sometimes essential while we are designing. It will help you to hatch unclosed object by giving the tolerance value to this option. So now let's see these options in much more details. Now let me draw a rectangle here like this and a circle inside like this. Now in order to do the hatch in this object, I will type H and press enter and go and pick the internal point somewhere here. So now you can see that AutoCAD is really clever to identify the Eyelet Detection. To see the Eyelet Detection, you can come to the inner command which is available here and see the Eyelet Detection which is seen here. When you go for ignore option and go for pick point, you can see that it ignores the circle and places the hatch fully. So like that, you can use Eyelet Detection according to your need. Right. Now consider I have a rectangle like this, and I will draw a line which is of length 10 and press enter, and I will make a line like this. I will select this line and delete it and trim off by typing TR and enter, again enter, and delete this section like this, which means that this gap becomes 10. So in the normal condition, if I try to do the hatch, when you click inside, AutoCAD will show you that there is an open edge or the boundary is not closed. So unfortunately you cannot hatch in such condition. But yes, you can do hatch if there is a gap by giving a gap tolerance. So for that I will go for the inner command again and find the gap tolerance here. So the gap of the object must fall under the gap tolerance unit you give here. That means the value here is 10. So I will give a value of say 15 so that the 10 falls under this tolerance value. And I will press OK. And when you try to do the hatching here, it will be asking you a warning message, but you can still continue hatching this area by doing this. So that is one of the remarkable usage by which we can hatch an unclosed object. Deleting all the objects here available, I will draw another rectangle which is like this. This time I will do hatch by making the color by layer and this one none, and choosing a pattern of brick and selecting inside like this. As you can see that it's very dense, I will increase the scale, let's say 100, press enter. But still you can see that it's very dense. That means there is a chance that the hatch pattern scale is very high also. So what we can do is that we can reduce the scale and check whether it is correct or not by making it as 1. So now you can see that the hatch is being made correct by making it as 1. Now let's get to know what is set origin. Set origin means that you can set an origin of this hatch pattern. That means you can see that here the brick starts from nowhere. So if you want your brick to start exactly from this bottom, you can set the origin from this corner like this, bottom left, and you can go and click anywhere in your drawing so that your bricks start exactly from this corner. Similarly, you can change the origin to bottom right and click it over here so your bricks will start exactly from here. So like that, you can set your origin according to your need. The amazing part is that when my origin is set to the bottom right corner and I will scale it, you can see that it scales with this point constraint. As you can see here, that point remains constrained. So that is the use of set origin. Now let me draw a rectangle again here and a circle again here. This time we will be knowing what is solid fill and gradient. So let me take hatch again, and I will go for solid pattern which is available here and fill it inside. As you can see that it is fully a solid color. You can change the color to some other colors like this. You can give the gradient pattern also, which is available here in this list, which will be available here or here. So like this, you can use gradient pattern as well as solid fill pattern in hatch. Now consider this as the drawing. Normally in such drawings we use hatch. That means we have a wall, we have a foundation. So to make it different to each other, we use hatch. In order to access hatch, we use H and press enter. So first I will denote my foundation. So for the foundation, let me take some appropriate pattern. Let it be gravel, which is available here. So I will select this one and this one. But as you can see that it's very dense in scale. So what I will do is that I will increase my scale, which is much more feasible for drawing. So now it's pretty much better. And I will press escape to exit from the command. And I will start hatch again and do the hatching for the walls. This time I will select brick. I will go for AD11-PART and select the wall like this. But now you can see that nothing is visible there. That is because your scale must be slightly different. So let me reduce the scale, and you can see that yes, the brick is still visible. So you may have to adjust your scale according to the requirement in your drawing. So now it will be looking like this is brick section and this is foundation section. So like that, we use hatch patterns in our drawing. The next topic that we have to learn is called revision cloud and wipeout. Revision cloud is basically used to mark a portion in the drawing so that one can revise that portion in the later part. Similarly, the wipeout option is used to wipe out a particular section from the drawing in a temporary basis. So now let's see these options in the software. Consider this complex design like this. Now, if I want to revise this section once more before submitting my document, I can put a revision cloud over this. Normally when you do the revision cloud, it will be coming in the same layer. So what I will do is that I will create another layer, which we will call it as revision cloud, like this. And I will change the color to say red and press OK. And I will make this layer as active layer. By closing this option, I will go for the revision cloud. The command for revision cloud is REVC and press enter. This will enable you the revision cloud command. As you can see that the minimum arc length is 0.5, maximum arc length is also 0.5, the style is normal and the type is rectangular. That means the revision cloud now will be in the shape of a rectangle. So for the time being, we will start from freehand. So that means I will go and select this freehand option and try to draw the revision cloud like this. Your revision cloud has been placed over the drawing like this, and when you come and just touch over the starting point, it will end your revision cloud. Right, so this becomes a revision cloud which will help you to automatically identify that yes, there is a revision to be done in this drawing. So it will be easy for you to communicate with some other person and show them where the revision has to be made. Let's see the other options which is available in revision cloud. So for that, let me type REVC and press enter. The first one is arc length. The arc length determines the arc length of each arcs which are available here. So now it is 0.5. You can change the arc length from 0.5 to some other values. Say 1 for the minimum length and 3 for the maximum length like this and press enter. So now you can see that when revision cloud is made, it is much more bigger because you have already changed your arc length like this. The next option that we have is called object. Consider I have a rectangle like this, which I will make over this one. Now, if I want to convert this rectangle to a revision cloud, I will type REVC and press enter and go for the option called object and select the object which I want to convert to a revision cloud, and hence it will be converted to a revision cloud. Now there is one more question that AutoCAD asks, is that whether I want to reverse the direction. That means, do I want to reverse the direction to become inside? You can press yes, or you can go with the no option and press enter. Correct. The next option in revision cloud is that rectangular. That means you can draw a rectangular shaped revision cloud which is like this. Or else you can draw a revision cloud with the option polygon, where you can draw a polygonal revision cloud which will be like this and you can point n numbers of point to become a polygon like this and press enter. I'll go for the revision cloud command again, and you can see that freehand, that is the first or the initial method that we have used. The next one is style. Now the revision cloud is of a style normal. You can use a style of calligraphy which will help you to draw a revision cloud which looks like this. It will be made like a calligraphic shape, and press enter to exit. And the last option which is available in revision cloud is that modify. Consider I want to modify this revision cloud which I have drawn here. So I will go for modify option and start from the point where I want. Suppose I want to modify from this point. So I will select here and specify this next point, next point, next point, and let me complete it here. Now it is asking to pick a side to erase. So let me erase this side and press no for the direction so it becomes modified. So this is how we use revision cloud in the software. So let me delete the revision clouds which I have made and go for the next topic, that is wipeout. Wipeout is basically used to make the objects hidden. So for that we will type wipe out like this and press enter. So the default value is polyline. That means I have to draw a polyline which determines the boundary of a wipeout. So let it be like this, and let it be like this, and like this. And I will press enter to exit. So now you can see that it creates a polyline and hides the objects which is under that. But you can still select the objects which is there, but it won't be showing as an object when the wipeout is present. You can select the wipeout and use the move command to move the wipeout according to your need, so it becomes moved. You can type the wipeout command again and go for the frames option and make the frames off to make the frame off like this. So normally you may be thinking why we use wipeout. Yes, there is a reason to use wipeout. Consider a drawing like this. Let me insert a car from my tools palette which is available here and insert it here like this. Now consider this car is coming from a wall like this. So that I will make my car coming inside like this. So logically this wall must be opaque so that this part of the car must not be seen. So what we can do is that we can use a command called wipeout, that is wipe out, and show these four corners like this so that my car remains opaque here. So which shows that the car is coming from a wall or it is hidden by something which is here. So you can use this option in various methods in your drawing. So that's the end of this session, and we hope you understood well. Keep posting your queries and feedback, and for more videos log on to www.tutomash.com. Thank you.